the one and only Planet Minjay is back with some hot takes. And I'm ready to take some of these hot takes. You know what I'm saying? Boys Planet. I have not been keeping up with Boys Planet because I'm waiting for the shit to be over so I can watch it in bulk. For some reason, I'm pretty sure that I don't need to do that, but I don't like waiting for episodes. So when this is over, I'm going to watch it, as well as Girls Planet, as well as everything else, when I get back to streaming on a regular schedule. And yeah, but I saw something on Instagram where it was like they posted some like a mess up as a meme or something, like the official account. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It kind of felt like it was making fun of something, but I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, this is Planet Minjay. He's gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? He's very outspoken. Let's say that. But he also tells the truth sometimes. And also he's opinionated. And also he's himself. So you know what I'm saying? I fuck with it. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with authenticity, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I like it. So without further ado, this is Boys Planet is already problematic. This video is brought to you by Sebastian's Patreon. Hey, not sorry to bother you, but I have something very, very important to tell you. As you know, I have a Patreon, and now it's being upgraded per se. It's thick now, like Wano thick. There are now 3 tiers. I'll put the descriptions of all the tiers on the screen. Pause if you would like to read it. It's time to lock in, and by lock in, I mean every week we'll have a post. I'm just saying, if I was you, I would definitely go over to the Patreon and check it out because I'm giving back. So, yeah. If you would like to support the channel and the community, head over to my Patreon and tell me how you like it. Thank you for everything. Now, let's get back to the video. Hey. What? Yeah. Hey. What?
From contestants already facing scandals, to the metaverse, to Mnet once again proving they can't be trusted,
Ouch, all right.
upcoming survival show Boys Planet hasn't even aired yet and is already concerning people around the world.
Jesus.
Hey everyone, it's Planet Minjay once again, and welcome back to another video.
Hey,
Today
Minjay.
I'll be covering the hot topics and controversies that have already sprung up around Boys Planet and give some of my thoughts as we go along. For
Let's
those
go.
of you who don't know, Boys Planet is an upcoming show that's going to be aired on the South Korean TV channel Mnet. Famous for broadcasting similar shows relating to everything K-pop and music, just like the Produce 101 series, in Boys Planet, 95 male contestants will be competing in missions and challenges where they show off their performance skills and personalities in
Why does that look like an edit? Like, you know them edits where they like edit somebody and just like copy and paste them like 95 times? That kind of looks like an edit.
order to gain votes from viewers at home. And the most voted for contestants will earn the privilege of debuting in a K-pop group managed by prestigious companies Wake One and Swing Entertainment. Before we start, please know that while I may personally like and dislike some of the contestants on the show based on the content that's been posted, I'm gonna do my best to leave my bias at the door with my commentary and try to be as fair as possible by providing multiple points of views on contestants when discussing them. However,
okay, shout out to the disclaimer. Me, I don't know shit about anybody. So I'm just going off of how I react to the news. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be that crazy, but I be eating my words. So I'm guessing that's like a brand for me. So yeah, let's go. I have no biases. So let's get it. Let's go.
I'm not going to be extending this same grace to topics that surround Mnet specifically because
Fuck Mnet.
Why would I do that? If
Real fuck Mnet.
Mnet's being stupid, I'm just going to say it like it is. There are going to be different sections to this video that you can browse in the progress bar or description box down below, so feel free to skip along as you please. And at the end, I'll also be sharing my current top picks for the show, so if anyone's interested, make sure to stick around till the end. But I think that just about wraps up our intro, so let's dive right into the discussion.
Woo!
So I wanted to start off this video by talking about how Mnet haven't been able to figure out how this show is going to work and have gone back on their own words Awards for seemingly no reason. And this has happened multiple times, which might be a sign that there is a huge mess going on behind the scenes. See, though it might not initially appear significant, something that came across as a huge red flag to me is how the current version of Boys Planet that we're going to be getting on February 2nd is not the same version Mnet initially advertised.
Oh shit, it just started.
During the Mnet Asian Music Awards, also known as the Mama Awards back in 2021, a year and a half ago, Boys Planet was first announced to be airing in 2022. But as we all know, this didn't end up being the case as it's 2023 and the show still hasn't ran its first episode. And during the announcement in 2021, it was also announced that all the contestants on the show would be individual trainees who aren't signed to any company.
Okay.
And as we all know, this didn't end up being the case, considering that most of the contestants are trainees under established companies, and some are even previously debuted idols.
What?
We have Hui from Pentagon, Ungi and Sungmin, ex-members of TO1, Donggil and Hwani of Uptension, and 3 members of boy group 9i are competing as well. Now, of course, I understand that things happen, and even major TV programs have to change their plans every now and then, but this situation specifically made me question a lot of things. See, I found it interesting that even when Mnet first announced when Boys Planet was going to start, they gave themselves a huge amount of time to prepare. I mean, when they said Boys Planet was going to start in 2022, they never said what day, month, season they were aiming for, they just said the year. But somehow, they weren't even able to meet that deadline. So that makes me think that something significant went wrong behind the scenes that we're unaware of, because for Mnet to postpone a type of show that they've already done 5 or 6 times now, that they already have the venue, contestant housing spaces, and connections in the industry for, I really doubt that Boys Planet getting postponed was a deliberate and pre-planned decision. It just seems too fishy. As for the reason why this happened, the obvious first train of thought makes me want to say it has something to do with the change of rules regarding the show's casting. Because since Mnet previously wanted all of the contestants not to belong to any company, we have to ask if there were complications that prevented this from happening and subsequently forced the show's airing date to be pushed back. At first, Mnet was doing online auditions asking wannabe contestants to send in audition tapes digitally, and they got tens of thousands of applicants from around the world. So realistically, there couldn't have been a shortage of qualified and interesting people for Mnet to cast. So there must have been something else that stopped Mnet from only wanting individual trainees. And I think the reason is they were insecure about how well the show would do if they stuck with their initial plan. We all know that 2022 was not the best year for boy groups. Not only did they chart much worse than usual, they also really paled in terms of overall hype, even.
Hey man, listen, okay? The girls did that shit last year. Not gonna hold you. They went crazy. They went ballistic last year. Like, come on now. Don't say the boy groups ain't really do that much better. You know what I'm saying? So they've been going crazy too. But the girl's been going insane.
From dedicated K-pop fans, because everyone was paying more attention to girl groups.
Oh, and quick question. I seen a meme on Twitter that talked about VVs. They said that new song sounds Nugu. And it sounds like kind of dated. Why? What is that like? Is that like the consensus or something? What is going on? Like what is happening? Like people are not liking that new song. I heard like a snippet and I heard the drop because I wanted to see the meme and I was like, why people say this shit sound Nugu? They was like, oh, it sounds like some 2013 type shit. And I'm just like, what? What's the problem? Like, isn't that with the trend or something? And they was like, I'm so disappointed. Like, am I missing something? I don't know. And before I seen this video, there was definitely an ad for that song as well. But I don't know. I just wanted to ask a question. I was like, what is happening?
A boy group that debuted in 2022 saw any major success, and even other groups formed on survival shows like TNX and TAN kind of, flopped, for lack of a better word, despite having these $1 million budget shows dedicated to them pre-debut. As Mnet is one of the most major forces within the K-pop industry, I can guarantee you that they have eyes on everything that happens in K-pop, and I think they were scared that people's general indifference to boy groups would affect the popularity of Boys Planet. With all individual trainees, there wouldn't really be a way to get many big-name contestants on the show, and because of this, they would have no method of drawing hype to the show the same way they did with contestants contestants like Yujin on Girls Planet, Sakura on Produce 48, or New East on Produce 101. So, though I could be wrong, I genuinely believe that Boys Planet was pushed back in order to redo the casting process. Later in June of 2022, Mnet sent out another form for auditions stating that anyone could apply, regardless if they were already signed to a company, had already
I remember that. My dumbass tried to
debuted, or were independent, and this is just more reason to believe my theory is correct. I think Mnet were banking on their hopes that popular trainees or debuted idols would audition so that their respective fan bases could boost the buzz and viewership of the show, and as we've seen, this kind of worked. Since contestants like Hui, Jay Chang, Ungi, and Christian, who have already had presence in the entertainment industry for years, have brought in so many more fans to the show already. So, while Mnet's quick decision-making was something that I think will inevitably help out the viewership of Boys Planet and, by association, the success of the final debut group, the fact that Mnet were so quick to change their plans makes me worried for the future. We've already seen that Mnet are willing to go back on ideas that they previously committed to, so who's to say they won't do the same thing during the show? I'm concerned that the producers aren't going to stick to any of their plans, whether that's in regards to the storylines of the show or the contestants that they make leading characters, which might make us end up with a program that feels messy and hard to follow. I could already see the executives choosing a quote-unquote main character of the show and then end up cutting almost all of their screen time if or when they decide to change their minds.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Overall, I'm just worried that the quality of the show is going to suffer because of the lack of pre-planning and organization behind the scenes. See, one way I've already seen this
Okay, so the first one seems very plausible, which is probably why I'm sorry to pause it here. The first little statement seems very, very plausible. I'm not gonna lie, seems plausible AF. That could be the reason why it's first.
Organization and lack of planning affect Boys Planet is in the poor choices made in the casting department. For a lot of reasons, I feel like the team that chose the contestants didn't take proper measures to make sure they were fit and/or ready to compete. Firstly, 98 contestants were originally supposed to participate, 49 Korean contestants and 49 from other places around the world. However, we've since learned that number has now shrunk down to 95 after 3 contestants have been discharged. Now, other trainees have departed from different Mnet survival shows before, so this isn't necessarily new. However, the word discharged makes me feel like this case is a little bit different.
That
I don't
sounds
want to
crazy.
speculate too much, but it seems like Mnet wants people to think that it was their decision to have these 3 leave. The word discharged has a connotation that it was up to the people in positions of higher power to have that person removed. For example, someone's discharged from the hospital when the hospital determines you no longer need care. You're discharged from the military after your contract is complete, or you're determined to no longer be suited to serve.
But sorry.
So, if Mnet is telling the truth when they describe these 3 trainees as discharged, apparently they were determined to be unfit for the competition and were subsequently cut. I don't like this for a few reasons, but mostly I don't enjoy it because it feels like Mnet is dodging responsibility here. See, Mnet went out of their way to cast those 3 trainees out of the probably hundreds of thousands of people who applied to be on the show, only for them to be removed from the show after they finalized the roster. And I feel like this could have been so easily avoided if they were just more careful. Typically, with competition shows like this, they double, triple, quadruple check that everyone is fully willing and eager to participate. You know, they have psych evaluations and physicals for the contestants, but I don't know if they do that in K-pop survival shows because it doesn't seem like they do. Mnet should have taken every precaution possible to guarantee that no contestants would end up backing out. But it doesn't seem like they did because 3 ended up leaving. So again, this is another instance of Mnet not dotting all of their I's and crossing all of their T's. So who knows if this disaster is going to fix itself before the show starts. Next, I wanted to spend at the very least a bit of time talking about some specific contestants.
For number 2, you know what I think? Even though I don't know shit about shit, but I know Mnet is ass. I think they already had those people. I feel like they already knew. Like, I don't know if they went back on their shit, or I'm sorry, I don't know if they went back on their word or they went back on like just what it is. I feel as though this was pre-planned, and you know, like when you overbook or like some parties or some clubs overbook to the people who go to clubs. Like they overbook just so they can show that the line is out the door, just so it can like bring in certain type of eyes and like give off the aura of like, oh, this club is jumping. Like I feel as though, not really in terms of like our actually it could be in terms of our show is so popular that we have to go back on our word. But that doesn't really make sense because it was supposed to be 98 and they already finalized it. So maybe they had 98 and 95 in mind, and then they just like overbooked or just over finalized or whatever, just overcounted, and was like, you know what? Let's take them out. They're probably not as interesting. I'm using that loosely. They're probably not as interesting as we thought. They probably won't get enough clicks and they won't get enough eyes. You know what I'm saying? It might bring down the eyes. We can't really do our Mnet snake editing with them because they don't really react to it. They don't really cry. So this is that and the third. Or maybe Mnet just sucks and everything is just a free for all. Maybe that. I don't know.
On the show and the reactions they've drawn from fans online. And first off, I think it's definitely necessary to mention Lee Ho-taek, also known as Hui from the boy group Pentagon. Now, I'm just going to refer to him as Hui because that's how I know him as a fan of Pentagon, and for those of you who don't know, Hui has actually worked really closely with Mnet in the past. He first debuted back in 2016 and has been working as a music producer for essentially the same amount of time. This man has made pop songs, ballads, not only for his own group, but for multiple others within the industry as well. And this level of influence got the attention of Mnet to the point where not only did he produce evaluation songs for the Produce series, he also wrote and produced the debut song Energetic for 101. Like, he's done a lot for these survival shows in the past. So it's pretty wild that he ended up becoming a competitor on the 6th rendition of this series, which is a sentiment that a lot of people shared. People were saying he could have been one of the mentors or just a producer for the show again, and honestly, I'm not sure where I lie in this discussion. Though I don't necessarily care to vote for Hui, I understand why he would want to join a new group. I love Pentagon, but their most successful song Shine was released 4 or 5 years ago at this point, and for the past few years, the group hasn't even come close to replicating or improving upon this success. I'm sure Hui is still successful and monetarily stable after being credited for so many different works as a producer, but maybe he still wants that international recognition, which I don't blame him for thinking he'll get on Boys Planet. Overall, I won't be voting for Hui myself right now, but I wish the best for him, and I hope others can respect his decision to compete. Moving on, there are 2 more contestants that I want to talk about who have been getting a lot of heat online for different reasons. These contestants being Jay Chang and Lee Dao. See, out of all of the contestants who have been announced to be on the show, I would say that these 2 have drawn the most attention online, but not necessarily positive attention. Recently, clips of both of them have gone a tad bit viral, which has resulted in people, well, making fun of them. Jay's clip consisted of him making some poorly delivered jokes, and Dahl's fan cam of his Signal song performance caught people's eyes for the sloppy execution of the dance moves. And what's interesting to me is that these are the moments that have brought in the most negative discussion and buzz online about any of the contestants. Even
Nigga making a bad joke. Okay.
though there are much more pressing matters at hand. Multiple of the other competitors, including Jay himself, have a lot more serious and problematic information about them circulating, but people don't really seem to care about that as much as these cringy yet harmless clips. And it's weird to me because some of these contestants are being accused of things as serious as physical assault, but people are more mad because somebody isn't the best at dancing. Of course, I'm not perfect in this situation either. I did end up reacting to Jay's clip on Twitter, but have since deleted my comments because even if you don't like someone's personality, if they're not actively harming anyone, then what's the point in joining the hate train, right? But at the same time, I want to remind everybody that Jay does have some more serious allegations against him, but at the same time, I'm not sure if these accusations have been proven, so I'm not going to share them here. Just keep
cool. That's cool. I want to see the jokes though. After this.
That in mind. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you're allowed to dislike whoever you want for whatever reason. Like, you can literally hate me for the sound of my voice if you want to. But creating or joining in on these hate trains against people for reasons that aren't actually problematic is going a bit too far, and I think we should all think before we speak.
Oh, Minja, you have a brain. Oh my God. Guess what? A lot of people don't. A lot of people really do not. I'm glad that you're, you know what I'm saying? That you got a brain. I'm glad, you know what I'm saying? But I want to see what these jokes, how bad are the jokes that he said?
What did you just call me? Guys, I think someone just called me daddy. What do I do? What do I say? What do you know? Uh-oh. I got called daddy just now. Alert! 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 Someone called me daddy!
He channeled his inner... I was about to say, why does this give off some of like, kind of, Vomhan energy? So apparently he's friends with him. That makes sense. That makes sense. The joke is, I'm not gonna lie, it came to the point where it was just like, oh my Christ, when he was like, attention, attention. I think that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah. Niggas need to get off his dick because it's just a cringy joke. Relax. But if that other shit is if that other shit is real, y'all shouldn't be worried about them goddamn jokes. So yeah. And the other dude was just dancing all awkward and poorly. Okay, maybe the nigga was tired. Maybe he was tired. Damn. Like, damn. Shit. How about you dance in front of thousands of people?
Including me, like I said before.
Fuck.
The final and perhaps the craziest topic of discussion that I have for this video is the decision by Mnet to delve into the metaverse with Boys Planet. The doors that Espa have opened, right? So the metaverse basically refers...
Damn. Nobody... Oh, he just came out the cut. So nobody talking about plagiarism now, huh? Fuck.
To a virtual...
I said that jokingly. I don't care about plagiarism.
Cyberspace that is supposed to be its own sort of universe where anything is possible. In K-pop, we've obviously gotten Kwangya as the most relevant example, but Mnet have also decided to try and cut their own slice out of the metaverse pie by announcing that Boys Planet would be releasing exclusive content through the metaverse, where you can interact and communicate with the contestants through virtual avatars. Like the I versions of the Espa members, apparently the Boys Planet contestants are going to be given metaverse versions of themselves that fans can either send/receive messages from, play games with, talk to. The possibilities really are endless. All we know is Mnet is putting the contestants in the metaverse, and I am against it. I'm sorry, but there is just no way that this is going to turn out well. We already know that Mnet is a mess behind the scenes. And even though I've never done any work with the metaverse myself, I can basically guarantee you that Mnet doesn't know what to do to make it work themselves. Making your own metaverse with 95 unique avatars for people to interact with is a job that would probably take years to complete. But Mnet's trying to do it in just months, and I just don't see that working. I feel like this project is either going to be scrapped completely or is going to be the most bootleg, unfinished, and unpolished product in existence. Either way, it's not going to be good, and it's just going to waste people's time.
But it would be funny. It would be funny though if it's like Cyberpunk. Everything is just broken. They can use that to their advantage. They could. I don't know.
And that could have been used to make Boys Planet a better show. Of course, I don't know all of the information. It's just, to me, this sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. And frankly, I'm scared. And as far as my problems that I have with the show, I think that just about covers everything.
Really? Okay.
Overall, I feel like there's a lot of potential for this show to go fine and proceed smoothly, but I feel like there's an equal amount of potential for this show to become a disaster. So we'll just have to wait and see. But now that all of the not fun things are out of the way, let's talk about my preseason picks for a minute. So my first and top pick right now is Christian Wang, Chinese performer and an active member of Now United. Some of you may know him from the competition show Youth with You 3, and I like him because it seems like he's improved a lot lot over the past few years. He's been in the entertainment industry for a while now, and he's made leaps and bounds of improvement since he first appeared. So I'm excited to see how he improves over the course of Boys Planet. My second pick is Zhang Hao, who is the center of the global group in the show, and I personally think he's one of the best performers in the program when it comes to stage presence and overall star power. I don't really know much about him in terms of personality, but that doesn't really matter too much because I'm definitely rooting for him based on his skills for the most part. And my final pick that I'm going to talk about is Anthony of G Group. I only really have these 3 locked in right now. Everyone else in my current top 11 I could see changing in the future, but these 3 I'm pretty confident in at the moment. To be honest, I'm rooting for Anthony because we're both half Filipino. I want more Filipino people to be successful, and that's that.
Yeah.
And that concludes this video.
Yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed, and we're given some new things to think about from my commentary. Before you go, leave a comment saying who your number 1 Boys Planet pick is right now, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay. Hey, you know what, Minjay? You did that. Yeah. Good video. I like that. I'm not gonna lie. You're definitely gonna be the guy to when I watch Boys Planet, and I'm not ashamed of that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. Thank you for this video. You made this kind of like interesting. Like you made. I don't know. Honesty, this video made it more interesting, and I want to watch it because I kind of want to see the disaster that Mnet is going to cause, because we already know they're going to cause that disaster. But I'm gonna check it out. I hope nothing crazy happens where it's like that bad, but my guess is that this is just gonna be sloppy. But hey, I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't know.